Good morning to everybody, our dear subscribers. Today is 28th of March 2019 and FutureTrend channel is glad to welcome all of you. Today, as usually, we will try to describe the situation around the major currencies that are trading in the world financial markets. At the moment, financial markets are under the pressure of growing pessimism regarding the overall state of the global economy, and rising risk aversion fears continue to support such kind of currencies like, for example, the Japanese yen or the Swiss franc. As regarding the dollar yen, for example, now we are very close to break below the psychologically important level 110 and probably to test again the lows witnessed during previous trading week that were touched around 109.70. All in all, we told a lot of times during our previous reports that the Japanese yen continued to be a victim of the risk aversion arising, and in case of further rising in such kind of sentiment, of course the Japanese yen will garner another support. As regarding the Swiss franc, probably the dollar Swiss continue to look more or less stable, but such kind of currencies like another Swiss franc crosses, for example Euro Swiss is hovering around the 112 level. You will look at the longer term chart. Here is a kind of triple bottom around the level of 111.70-80, and final break below that level could open the door to test another psychological kind of barrier that's located around the level of 110, with another support coming in 110.80, where located longer term uptrend line in such kind of currencies. All in all, as regarding the Euro Swiss, we continue to suggest to be outside the market and now prefer to stand aside. Probably we will enter the Euro Swiss into another long position only in case of testing the psychological barrier of 110. Let's see another crosses. Euro yen, another one victim of the current risk aversion situation. We are really very close to break below the support, the so-called lows of 22nd of March, located around 123.70, 123.80. Break below that level could take the pair much lower from the current levels. All in all, we continue to suggest that overall situation in the world financial markets continue to be really very pessimistic. For that we need to look at the yield of government papers like United States or German ones. United States 10-year yield at the moment are trading around the 2.32, 2.34 level, and also the German bonds yield at the moment is below 0%, in the negative territory at minus 0.09%. Overall here the United States dollar continue to look much more attractive in terms of interest rates, and that's why the euro dollar is looking especially weak at the moment. Today is a day of publication of important inflation numbers coming from Germany and Spain, and of course the German is the economy #1 in the European Union, so we have to touch seriously the German preliminary consumer price index report today. Also today is the day of publication of United States final gross domestic product numbers, and the case of revision further to the downside, it will once again emphasize the overall situation with sliding global economy and continue to suggest that the rising the risk aversion situation will continue to rise and to take such kind of currencies like Japanese yen or the Swiss franc further to the upside. As regarding the cable, here the situation in the arms of the British Parliament, the market continue to suggest that sooner or later the British Parliament will vote in favor of the British deal, or probably in favor of postponement of the deadline. But here the situation continue to be quite difficult, and any kind of efforts taken by Theresa May, the Prime Minister of the British government, any kind of efforts continue to not to lay any kind of support for the British Parliament to vote in favor of existing divorce deal with the European Union. So here the situation continue to be quite volatile and quite nervous for the sterling crosses. That's why we continue to suggest that any kind of rebound to the level of 132.50, 133.50 will give you a kind of opportunity to enter fresh short positions. Also in the euro sterling, despite of the overall negativity with the euro currency, we continue to suggest that the level of 0.85 should not be broken in the nearest future, the so-called support level of 84.70. We continue to suggest even here that sooner or later the euro sterling will be back to the upside, and probably the level of 86.90 will be tested again, where lies immediate kind of downtrend line in the currency. As regarding commodity block of currencies, for those of you who are interested to see that, we closed our two positions in the Aussie dollar and the Kiwi dollar, but overall we suggest that longer term the picture is not so dramatically negative in these types of currencies like the market suggests. We continue to suggest that levels of 0.70 in the Aussie dollar and 0.67 in the Kiwi dollar will not be broken in the nearest future, and sooner or later these pairs, despite of the last expression, for example from the Royal Bank of New Zealand, that next move in the interest rates will be cut, it's anyways under the question at the moment, because a lot will depend on the actual state of the New Zealand economy. So we have pay a lot more attention regarding the incoming data from New Zealand. Probably today's appearance of the governor of the Royal Bank of New Zealand, that's scheduled at 20 o'clock Greenwich time today. Mr. Orr will be speak. Probably he will shed some more light on the situation of the Royal Bank of New Zealand decision, and probably he will shed some more light on the future kind of incline of the bank, what they actually will do in one way or the other. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for all of your attention of our channel. We hope that tomorrow, the same time, you will be back with us. Thank you, and bye-bye for now.